Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I have my Islam Lord pronounced and the lotus feet of our most worshipful Shri Gurudev. Nitya Prabhushta Om Vishnu Pad Shishimad Bhakti Narayan Goswami Guru Maharaj Yorupanu Guru Varga and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. So we continue today. Yesterday, very nice Tithi. It is a disappearance of Buddha, Narottam Das Thakur. And I just want to share some. I was thinking, because we've been discussing about the glories of Bhakti, right? And this Bhakti, of course, our Goswamis, they taught, they provided all the philosophy, and I was mentioning this yesterday. But as far as these moods, this is not something you can really teach, because it's something felt. So the whole Sankirtan movement Mahaprabhu is actually this practical, very practical way that, not making the teaching it's like this and like that, but it's like a very practical experience that immediately you get like a taste, an entrance to what this Bhakti is all about. So entering into these moods. And so, Narottam Das Thakur we say by his songs, then so much of this revelation, how to enter. But I was thinking, because in the book, in Mount we say, that really, who is this one in this Bhakti, in the mercy? It's actually the devotees, not Krishna. Because really this Bhakti is property of the Bhaktas. Krishna is enjoying this. So even Krishna, he has to learn, he became enamored by this Bhakti, which is the property actually of the devotees. And so even he himself wanted to learn this, and that's as Mahaprabhu has learned. And then learning this, he himself writing like Narottam Das Thakur expressing all the moods. Mahaprabhu himself, Mahaprabhu has not written philosophy. He's written Shikshastakam, which is actually now within the moods. When he learned all this, then you're writing these and saying what all these moods of Bhakti all about. Like this. So these are all really Mahaprabhu showing the moods, which actually what we can realize when we enter into this kirtan. So first is glorifying Sankirtan, then after that glorifying what are the moods within the Sankirtan. So first, the appreciation that, how powerful your names are, but I have no attraction to them, unfortunately. Like that. Then after that, please mention, these are all moods. Never feeling so proud, but always ready to respect others, not desiring respect. Then on the fourth one, what's after that? After that, please mention. I don't desire for any of these things. I only pray to be birth after birth, to have this Bhakti. So these are all goods. Then after that, he said, I am your fallen servant. I have fallen to this ocean of your resistance. And he said, please, be merciful to me. Consider me. Just consider me like one particle of your dust. So it's that kind of thing. And then praying now, or when will this when exam we made, then I'll be crying, my hair's coming in. So these are all moods. So Krishna himself trying to learn, trying to learn his bhakti, and when he Mahaprabhu, and he's writing also, he's writing his own verses and songs, expressing his moods. Anyway, I was just thinking about this. So now we continue with our Mother. So we're now in 6th text, right? We're now in text 6. What did it say in this text 6 so far that we read? This is more like the conclusion. So it's just concluding now. Bhakti is coming from Bhakti. The whole discussion is actually like now leading to this conclusion that Bhakti actually coming from Bhakti. So this is a short text so far. Let's just repeat this. We'll read it again. Vishnu Chakravarti, he says, Bhaktya Sanjayata, Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya, which means Bhakti arises from Bhakti. So that is actually the word from Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 31 verse. So when the Bhakti coming from Bhakti, meaning one type of Bhakti, sadhana Bhakti, resulting to what? The prema Bhakti. All are Bhakti. So from sadhana Bhakti arising to prema Bhakti. Prema is the crest jewel of all spiritual attainments. Thus, like Bhagavan, his splendid internal potency, Bhakti Devi is omnipresent, all controlling, all nourishing, all attractive, supremely independent, and self-manifesting. Okay, we read this before. Like all these qualities of Bhagavan being omnipresent, he's everywhere. All controlling, he's controlling everything. Not only controlling, but also nourishing. Not just nourishing, but attractive, all attractive. Then, what else? Supremely independent and self-manifesting. He said, Bhagavan has all these qualities, and so has his Shakti, the form of Bhakti. So then, just for that section of text, Srila Gurudev explains that now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, citing evidence from Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, and other scriptures, he has firmly established. So when you say firmly established, meaning, without any doubt, making everyone really be convinced. What point he is establishing? He is establishing the self-manifesting, independent nature of Bhakti, along with her characteristics, and is thus concluding the first shower. It has been stated previously that it is by mercy of any supremely independent, great saintly personality, Mahapurush. He said, also the Mahapurush, the Bhaktas are also independent. So he said, it is by their mercy, the mercy of these supremely independent Mahapurushas, that one attains Bhakti. And so, Bhakti Devi, who is situated in the heart of the Mahapurush, is the only cause actually of the mercy. For without Bhakti, this mercy cannot come. You understand? So, consequently, Therefore, we say bhakti is the cause of the following. The reason someone gets bhakti because he gets the mercy of the devotee. And what is the cause of that mercy? It's only bhakti. Therefore, bhakti coming from bhakti, then bhakti coming. Then, by determining this, the independent and self-manifesting nature of bhakti has been proven. So then the actual verse is this: Smarantascha mitro abhogaharam harim bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya vibrat ulakam tanum. So this is spoken by Prabhupada, one of the 9 Gandhas, to Nimi Maharaj. He's saying, O king, in this way, it is by Prem Bhakti, which has appeared from Sadhan Bhakti, that the Premi Bhakta, his body shivering in ecstasy and his hair standing on end, remembers Sri Hari and makes others also remember him. So, why is he quoting this verse? Because here is actually saying that this Premi Bhakta, how he became a Premi Bhakta? What made him a Premi Bhakta? Because now Premi Bhakti has come to him, right? But how did he become a Premi Bhakta? He's doing sadhana before. He's doing sadhana. By sadhana bhakti, now he has attained Premi Bhakti. And now as a Premi Bhakta, now he's experiencing all these ecstatic symptoms. Along with that is fully Krishna consciousness, only thinking of Bhagavan. He's saying here, his hair standing on end, and he remembers Hari constantly. And because he always remembers Hari, then he makes the others also remember Hari. And so in other words, now he becomes the cause for other people to become attracted, and then they follow also Sadhan Bhakti. And then they follow Sadhan Bhakti, then they become Premi Bhakta. They will have Premi Bhakta, and as Premi Bhakta, when they become Premi Bhakta, then they also inspire others to follow, and then they become Sadhan Bhakta and the others. So in this way, the cycle continues. But it's showing Bhakti only coming from Bhakti. In the practice of Karma Yoga, Dhyan, and so forth, the means, or we say the sadhana, differs from the goal. Right? You understand? In Karma Yoga, what is the sadhana? What is sadhana?
Karma?
Yeah, karma. Like example of sadhana and karma. Like charity, like yajna, like that. And what is their goal? Maybe heavenly planets, or like prosperity in the material now, in the present life, like this. And for those yoga, practicing yoga, what is their sadhana? Maybe they do some tapasya, some sense control, meditation. Then their goal maybe attain some mystic siddhis, like that. Or like realizing Paramatma. Now, for Dhyan, we know their goal is liberation. What is their sadhana? Also many go doing their meditation. Along with that, some puja also, what has been mentioned, they practice some type of bhakti also. So, he said, the sadhana of the fruitive workers is to offer oblations, it's called yaga, and perform sacrifice, yajna, and so on. And their goal is the attainment of the heavenly planets. The sadhana of the jnanis includes withdrawal of the mind from sense pleasures, and restraint of the senses, and profound and repeated meditation. So that is that is Shama, Dhamma, and Nididhyasana. Sama means withdrawal of mind from sense pleasure, and then Dhamma, restraining the senses, and then Nididhyasana, that is repeated meditation. But okay, that is their sadhana. Their goal is to merge in the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord, Brahma Sayuja, for the Dhyan process. Now, the sadhana of the yogis is restraint, yama, observing prohibitions, niyam. So there's yam, niyam, discipline of the body, asana, breathing exercises, pranayam, and so forth. And their goal is to merge with Paramatma, Paramatma Sayuja. To the degree that these various practitioners approach perfection, their practice reduces. Do you understand that? The more they attain perfection, then the lesser, they perform the practice. So finally, they rid themselves of their burdensome practice altogether and become absorbed in its perfection. So you understand? So when they attain perfection, meaning attain their goal, then no more their practice. And for them, that was actually very burdensome. So thus their practice, the sadhana, and their sadhya, the perfection, are entirely distinct from each other. This can be easily understood. Okay, that's clear. So their sadhana and their goal, not the same. The moment they attain their goal, sadhana is finished. By contrast, sadhana bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prema bhakti are the comparative and superlative stages of the same practice. You understand? So he said it's the same practice, but it's like something is just in a higher position, meaning it's just more concentrated. But it's the same practice. It's never like when you attain the higher stage, then the other one is you left behind. The previous stage of bhakti becomes the cause of the next stage of bhakti. Therefore, as the practitioner of bhakti progresses toward prema bhakti, his practice augments. It does not end. You understand? So it's just added and it just becomes thick. It's not like it finished. It's not like when you attain bhav bhakti, then sadhana bhakti is gone. Like no more. Because the activities of sadhana bhakti actually, let's say, what are the activities of sadhana bhakti? Hearing, chanting. Okay, that is our main activity actually. Kirtan, or hearing, chanting, remembering, listening harikatha, like that. Or serving, doing practical services. When you attain bhav bhakti, meaning now it's very clear, like relation with Krishna now has come. Still you'll be doing the same thing. You'll still be chanting, hearing harikatha, doing practical service. Like that. Now when you attain prema, you'll be doing the same thing. And let's say you go to the planet of Mahaprabhu, like you attain your Vasa Siddhi. You'll still be doing the same thing. You'll be doing chanting Harinama like this. And listening Harikatha. Even if you go to Vrindavan also, the Vrishbasis, they're also like chanting, they're also like singing Govinda Dhammo Dharma Lavekila. And it's not that like, there's someone giving class and like Harikatha. The Harikatha will be the form of like one movie to the other, like telling all these stories about Krishna. Or the certain Brajbasi hearing from Rohini Mata, or like some stories about Krishna and Baladev, like that. Or the sagas telling to other sagas, what happened, like all these nice pastimes of Krishna, like this. So it's going on. So therefore, as the practitioner of bhakti progresses toward prema bhakti, his practice is just augmenting. It does not end. This is because in the stage of sadhana bhakti, his taste for devotion has not yet solidified. So that's the situation. In sadhana bhakti, you're doing some activity, but the taste is not solid, it's not hardened. At the stage of bhav and prem, however, that taste becomes extremely condensed. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur has said, what did they say? This is from Prem Bhakti Chandrika. Pakile se prema bhakti apakvi sadhana riti bhakti lakshan tattvasad. Prema bhakti is when love for Krishna is fully mature or ripe, and sadhana bhakti is the same devotion that has not yet ripened. This is the essence of the characteristics of bhakti tattva. Did you get that? So it's just like prema bhakti means now bhakti has matured. Now fruit has come. But sadhana bhakti means bhakti has not ripened yet. But they're all bhakti. One is just not ripe, the other one is fully ripened. So this is essence of bhakti tattva. Just as mango is sour when unripe and extremely relishable when ripe. So then you can see the difference in the analogy now. So like sadhana bhakti, not ripe yet. So he said like just give an analogy. Like mango, take mango for example. When not ripe, then it's sour. But when it becomes ripe, very nice taste. So he said, prem matures sequentially through many stages, known as sneha, man, pranay, rag, and anurag, and finally mahabhav. These are the various stages of the development or transformations of prem. Prem itself, without abandoning the sweet qualities of the previous stages, becomes condensed or more relishable as it attains the highest states of sneha, man, pranay, and so on. The highest stage of prem is called mahabhav, and this is present only within the Brajagopis. That bhakti in which there is no other desire than to give happiness to Sri Krishna is called Uttama Bhakti. You're following? So then here we can actually see, although they're all bhakti, but something is really like higher. Because the more concentrated, then that's like the highest, meaning the most tasty, like that. So those who are tasting this like most concentrated, of course, they are they are considered like highest. So here it says that this prem, that means bhakti already matured. But then even in that maturity, there's also like different concentration. So in prem, there's all these like levels also, like how concentrated it is. The topmost is this mahabhav. So I said this mahabhav, that's only tasted by the Brajagopis. So then we can understand their position. So Uttama Bhakti is of three types. Now, so here he's saying, when we talk about Uttama Bhakti, that means there is no other desire than to give happiness to Krishna. And that is already what Guru Bhagavan has written, like, everything you do is only cultivation of activities and moods which are favorable for Krishna. And only for Krishna's happiness. So that is Uttama Bhakti. So he said this Uttama Bhakti has three types: Sadhana Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. Here, there is another matter worth considering. According to the philosophy of Samkhya, what is the philosophy of Samkhya? Samkhya, this is one field of philosophy where they analyze, right? They analyze the material composition. Like that. So he said, according to the philosophy of Sankhya, during an activity, the ingredient cause abandons its previous condition and transforms into its effect. Did you get that? He said, during an activity, the ingredient cause, upadana, leave behind, gives up its previous condition and transform into its effect. By way of analogy, so then, okay, let's have an actual example. Let's say milk. Milk as an ingredient cause. When it transforms into yogurt, what happened? It abandons its qualities as milk. One can no longer find milk in that yogurt. Do you understand? When milk turns into yogurt, he said they're actually like from the same, same source. Yogurt is not milk, but milk is the ingredient cause. And when it's transformed, now the quality of the milk is given up. So here he's saying the following question may then be raised. By use of the word transformation here, are we to consider that this phenomenon occurs in Bhakti also? You get that? He said because we say frame, then they become transformed in many stages like that. But then we give this analogy. So this transformation, is it the same as like when we say yogurt is transformed from milk? You understand? Because in that example, the qualities of the previous is actually gone, right? So he said, in other words, when Bhav Bhakti or Rati transforms into Prema Bhakti, does Bhav Bhakti cease to exist? Is it that kind of transformation? When Prema Bhakti transforms into Sneha, does the stage of or the characteristics of Prema Bhakti disappear? No. When Sneha transforms into Pranay, do the previous qualities of Sneha cease to exist? So in response to this doubt, Srila Rupa Goswami states that this principle does not hold true for Bhakti. Okay, so that we have to understand. Rati is a special function of Sri Krishna's Ladini Shakti. By the power of Sri Krishna's inconceivable potency, his Achintya Shakti, Rati progresses to its higher stages without abandoning its previous stage. Just as sadhana bhakti is comprised of Shravan, Kirtan, and other limbs of devotion, so those same limbs exist in Bhav Bhakti and Prem Bhakti as well. Similarly, Bhav Bhakti transforms into Prema Bhakti without abandoning its previous stage. Okay, so he's just making this point. Don't be, sometimes because words, we use certain words and then we're so like narrow-minded. Like, oh, when we hear transformation, then generally we give that example of milk transformed to yogurt. When milk transformed to yogurt, the qualities of milk disappear. But when we talk about bhakti, we're not talking, when we say bhakti is transformation of like bhakti one stage to the other. It does not mean like this kind of transformation, where the previous state, qualities of the previous stage is like will end like this. You understand? And that we already give example. No? In sadhana bhakti, when you attain sadhana bhakti, certain activities you do. When you attain bhav bhakti, it's not that the sadhana bhakti is gone. The same activities you will be doing in bhav, when you attain the stage of bhav. But what happens is, it's like a fruit. Before, it's just when it matures, when it's like unripe, it's some, how do you call this? It's sour, you know. The full taste is not there. But this sourness, those ones disappear. Meaning the impurities actually disappear. Something disappeared, but that is which is not like bhakti. No. You understand? Now just becoming concentrated. And then finally become fully pure. Like that. And then only the essence. That's what happens. So bhakti is not like, will never disappear. It just become more thick, more thick. This prema bhakti is the crest jewel of all spiritual attainments. And what's the term for that? Purushartha. Purushartha. Artha means goal. So there are many goals according to many people. Is that in the Vedas present like five goals. One is what? Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. They are considered like four lower goals. They're not like the ultimate goal. The highest goal is prema. Prema is Purushartha, Bhakti. Yes. So he said this prema bhakti, this is the crest jewel of all attainments. That which is valuable or desirable, meaning artha, for the soul, the purush, is called purushartha. In this world, although the jivas have different objects of desire for everyone, the common root is the desire for happiness or bliss. You understand that? A lot of people, in so many ways, they can express what is their desire. But if you really understand, they're all rooted to the actual desire to be happy. Really. Like why someone wants $1 million, or why someone wants a mobile phone? You know, because they think, I'll be happy with that. Or why someone wants ice cream or certain cloth like this. Because they think, they'll be happy with that. Or why someone endeavor to love God? Because they know this will make them happy. Like this, you know? So ultimately, whatever is their desires, the ultimate desire is to be happy. So he said, bhakti is this bhakti is the special function of Bhagavan's Ladini Shakti. This bhakti drowns the jivas in an ocean of nectar's bliss. Did you get that? So actually this bhakti has this power. It can drown the jiva. There's so much happiness. In contrast with bhakti, compare it to other sources of happiness. Even the happiness of merging with Brahma, this Brahmananda, this is considered exceedingly insignificant. It's like, cannot compare. It's like totally insignificant. Not to speak of material happiness and comforts for the happiness of the heavenly planets. So, actually compared to this Brahmananda, this material happiness here also is very insignificant. Happiness in the heavenly planet, that for many people that is so. Actually, for many devotees even, they hear about this and it's like, oh my God, it's so nice, you know. That's so great enjoyment. But then compare that to actual this spring, like the happiness of the associates of Bhagavan because of their loving Bhagavan. That's completely useless. So, saying, like Bhagavan, his great potency, Bhakti Devi, who originates from his Swarup, is all-pervading. Anyone can perform Hari Bhajan anywhere, at any time. And in any condition. Do you understand that? When you say Bhakti Devi, he is all pervading. That means Bhakti is not confined to any place, one place or any other. When we say all pervading, it can be anywhere. Anyone can do Bhakti. You can chant anywhere. You can, even if you don't have any money or any ingredients for cooking, you can still do Bhakti. By mind, then you can make so many preparations like this. That's the power of this Manasa Seva. You're not bound. So anyone can perform Hari Bhajan anywhere, at any time, and in any condition. Like this. They may imprison you. Like Haridas Thakur, for example, they're telling her that she cannot chant. They're imprisoning him. Like this. But he also telling like, well, even if you cut my body into many pieces, my tongue will never stop chanting. Like, even if they remove the tongue, then his mind continue chanting. Like the devotee like that. So they may imprison the devotee, but the devotee is not in the prison. He's actually in Goloka Vrindavan. Everyone outside the prison, they're in prison actually. But they're in prison in the material world still. So he said, therefore Bhakti Devi also pervades unlimited universes. So there, Bhakti not only in this universe, Bhakti is everywhere in unlimited universes. Not just even here in the universes, also in the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, in Goloka, and in all the other dhams. Bhakti is everywhere. Like this. In the material world, the spiritual world, everywhere, Bhakti is there. So, like Sri Bhagavan, Bhakti has the quality of being able to control everyone. Not to speak of others, even liberated souls are attracted by her quality of extraordinary affection and begin to perform Hari Bhajan. So that's the power of Bhakti. Bhakti can control everyone. And really, it's so powerful. Even Bhagavan becomes controlled by Bhakti. So like this month, for example, this month we call Damodar month, because that is the main teaching actually in this month. How Bhagavan, who is the supreme controller, he is controlled by those who have Bhakti, those who have praying. And of course, the most common example of this is this example of, that's why his name Damodar, he's tied on the stomach. This pastime of Mother Yashoda. But that's actually just one aspect of Damodar. There's more also, and actually even higher than that. Because that's the power of Vatsalya Prem, can tie Krishna. Krishna can also be tied by his friends, by sakas. Sometimes Krishna is tied by sakas. He's bound by his friends. But when he's bound by his friends, in Sakya, those in Vatsalya, they can untie that because they have higher rasa. That rope, that tying Krishna, tied by his friends, can be untied by Mother Yashoda or Nanda Baba because they have higher rasa. But the rope, the binding that those in Vatsalya ras, the Sakya ras, they cannot untie that because the Vatsalya is higher. But then those in Vatsalya, that rope can also be untied by those in Madhurya rasa. But those tied in that rope that in Madhurya rasa cannot be untied by anything else. Which meaning like this frame of those in other rasa, they are not as powerful control to the frame of like Srimati Radharani and like even the gopis in Madhurya rasa. So when we say this Radha Damodar month, we say Radha Damodar, like for us, we remember all these pastimes, Yashoda Damodar, like this. But more than that is Radha Damodar. What pastimes? Like in Seva Kunj, Krishna, sometimes they do all this like playful pastimes. Lalita would tie Krishna, to Radha, like that. So, he said here, so here Bhakti, so powerful, can control even liberated souls who are like very detached, they are very detached. They are free from any attachment. If only they come into contact with Bhakti, then their detachment, then they will understand, this detachment is like just making my heart dry, because really you cannot remain detached. This state of detachment, meaning not being detached, not being attached to anything, this is like temporary thing, really. Because by nature we have to be attached. So unless you attach to Bhagavan, then really that is permanent detachment. Everything else is like temporary. It's like not the real solution, like a band-aid solution. Like right now, maybe you may be like strong, have the strength, like not to be attracted to anything. But at some point, then some desire may come, and you can fall down. But the devotees, they're not into this, we call this Falgu Vairagya, like dry renunciation. They're detached from anything else because they have so much attachment to Krishna. So, Mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajate. This is a line from the commentary of Sridhar Swami on Bhagavatam. He's saying that even a liberated soul is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. Attaining a spiritual form, he enters the pastimes of Bhagavan to render service to him. So when you say he attains a spiritual form and enters into the pastimes of Bhagavan to render service, what is that? That's actually he's attaining his Vasudhi and engaging in Prema Bhakti. Previously, it has been said that without the help of Bhakti Devi, karma, jnana, yoga, tapasya, and so forth, they cannot bestow the fruits of their practice. Right? You remember this? All these processes. Without help of Bhakti Devi, they cannot produce fruit of their practice. Therefore, by comparing Bhakti with all other practices, meaning other sadhana, and their respective goals, their sadhya, Bhakti's supreme excellence, independence, self-manifesting nature, and so on have been established. Okay, so this is like, again, we're going back to the conclusion. What is the conclusion? How Bhakti is supremely excellent, is the most superior, independent, and self-manifest. Okay, that's no doubt. All the other things, they're inferior and they rely even on help of Bhakti. So, now, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is stating that Bhakti is an ocean of all good qualities, and he has described some of the glories of the intrinsic nature, the swarup of Bhakti. We're saying like this. Okay, so after establishing all these points, Bhakti is self-manifest, independent, supremely excellent, like this. Now, Vishwanath Thakur is stating that Bhakti is an ocean of all good qualities, and he is now describing the swarup of Bhakti. At the beginning of his instructions to Rupa Goswami, Srimad Mahaprabhu says, so we're talking about in Rupa Shiksha, Mahaprabhu's instruction to Rupa. He's saying, Gurudev telling here that the beginning of his instruction, he says, Mahaprabhu says, Para Parashunya Gabhir Bhakti Rasa Sindhu Tumaya Chahaite Tara Kohi Eka Bindu. The ocean of Bhakti Rasa is without a shore and extremely deep. You understand that? So, you know, there's ocean. Ocean is so vast. When you're in the middle of the ocean, you cannot even see where's the shore, in the shoreline, like this. It's like you just see all water like that. And especially if you drown, or if you go down the ocean, like ocean very deep. But if you go down, then somehow you can reach the depth, like that. And also if you go further, then you may see the shore. When you say about the ocean of Bhakti Rasa, this ocean of Bhakti Rasa has no shore and it's extremely deep. So it's like unlimited. You know, you cannot find like the shore like this. It's just like full nectar. And it's like very deep. You can't even see the bottom of that. So to give you a taste of one drop of that ocean, I am describing some of it. So that's how Mahaprabhu actually started when he gave instruction to Rupa Goswami. He told this. It's like all this ocean of Bhakti Rasa is so big. No shore, no bottom. But okay, I will just describe you a drop. Okay, I'll just give you a drop like that. I'm going to explain that. Okay, from that drop, then Rupa Goswami has revealed in the scroll all these things. In just that one drop. Now he gave us this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Lilamani, and all many these very important prayers and books. So then, next section of the text. Now, going back to the text, this is still in the 6th text. Vishwanath Thakur says, that said, if we see that a person retains any inclination toward processes other than bhakti, then we should understand that his intelligence has not fully matured. Shastra states, except for a non-human or a foolish animal, there is no one who does not perform loving devotional service to Sri Bhagavan. These and various other scriptural statements evidence a living entity's degradation even after attaining a human birth. Did you get that? Now, he's saying, that said, what was said before? So far, what have we discussed? He said, that said. What was said? That, okay, because you know we're deliberating, and so much discussion sometimes becomes confusing. So, what have we deliberated? Oh, bhakti is independent, bhakti is supreme, right? Bhakti only comes from bhakti. Bhakti does not depend on anything. Everything depends on bhakti. Okay, that much, right? And bhakti can be practiced everywhere, like Bhagavan, like this. All these things. So that said, so this is like the conclusion now. That said, he said, anyone who says that other processes, he said here, if you see that a person retains any inclination toward processes other than bhakti, he said, anyone who gets attracted to other processes other than bhakti, like this. He said, we should understand that his intelligence has not fully matured, like this. And he's saying, like, Shastra actually telling that how people, they can even be human beings, but they're actually like animals. You understand? So he said, except for a non-human or a foolish animal, there is no one who does not do bhakti to Bhagavan. You understand? He says, like, a real human being, they will do bhakti for Bhagavan. Because they have intelligence and they know This is the only, like Bhakti is so great. This is my life. So that's human being. When only animals, the foolish, then they will not do Bhakti. But then he said, so in this way, he's showing that some people, they may have a human form, but they're actually like animals, because they're not doing Bhakti. So that's the end of the text. And that's the end of the sixth text, and that ends also the first chapter. So let's just read Gurudev's commentary. He said, if the glories of Bhakti are extremely astonishing and matchless, then it is indeed appropriate for all the jivas to make attaining Bhakti the sole purpose of their life. Therefore, if attaining Bhakti is not a jiva's goal, it is certain that he has not carefully pondered any bona fide scripture. You understand? If someone like not appreciating this, that means he has not read scripture. He has not deliberated on what the scripture said. If he is not appreciating that Bhakti is the goal of my life, his intelligence has not matured, and his capacity to deliberate has not developed. For this reason, it is said that such jivas lack the power of discrimination. When you say no discrimination, meaning they don't know what is good and bad. They cannot discriminate. It should be understood that they are not yet on the human platform. So they're not even like real human beings. In other words, despite possessing a human-like form, they actually have the nature of animals. This is not simply the author's personal opinion. He is establishing this statement on the basis of scriptural evidence. And what is that? Human virajita vina pasugna, except for those who possess animalistic propensities, who will not perform bhajan of Sri Bhagavan, who is endowed with unlimited transcendental qualities. Who will not perform bhajan of Bhagavan? Really? So, Srimad Bhagavatam describes those who are averse to Hari Bhajan as animalistic or dull people. And he's quoting two verses from Bhagavatam. Tatrava kim na jivanti, vashira kim na swasanti yuta, na kadanti na mehanti kim rame pasavo pare. Swabhidvara hamstra karai samstuta purusha pasu, nayak karna pato pedu jatu nama gada. Buddha is explaining the meaning of these verses is that those who have obtained a human form in this world and they do not practice bhakti, they don't perform Hari Bhajan, they have simply wasted their life. If one claims that a long life is the measure of a successful life, some people they may say like that, oh, he is very successful, he has a very long life. And they pray, may he have long life because that is a sign of success. Then he said, does that make the tree successful? Because trees have very long life. Like that, A tree lives for many scores of years. But if longevity is the mark of a successful life, then trees are significantly superior to humans. To this, some may argue that although a tree lives long, it cannot breathe like human. In answer, it may be said that if inhaling and exhaling is the measure of a successful life, then the bellows of blacksmith are superior to humans. What is that? The bellows of blacksmith. Yeah, it's like a pump, they use for pumping. So, why? Because they can breathe in and out more than humans. If one then contends that bellows cannot compare to a human eating or mating, then in response it may be asked, do village animals like cows, buffaloes, goats, dogs, pigs, donkeys, and camels not eat and mate? It can thus be concluded that the success of a human life lies only in performing Hari Bhajan, which is not possible for those in the other species of life. In his commentary, Srila Jiva Goswami was explaining this Pasapo Pade portion of the above verse as written, Tamapi narakaram pasum matvaha apara iti it is to be understood that humans averse to Hari Bhajan are actually human-like animals. This is indicated by the word apari. Some may say that in this world there are those who are averse to Hari Bhajan, but who are nonetheless scholars or heads of nations and praised widely. Like we see this, big leaders, but they're not doing bhajan, they're not doing bhakti. But they're successful. They're leaders of their country, and also they're scholars like this. Can we not regard at least such individuals as humans? So that's the question. Right? That they are not humans, they're scholars, they're politicians, they're big leaders of the country. That it is said that those who are averse to Hari Bhajan and whose ears have never heard the name of Bhagavan, they are like dogs that bark uselessly. They are like camels that eat thorns. They are like those pigs that eat stool, or donkeys that are just carrying heavy load like this, while being kicked by a she-donkey. Such persons, despite being glorified by others who are also averse to Hari Bhajan, they should be understood to be also like animals. In his commentary on this verse, Srila Jiva Goswami has said that a person who is averse to Hari Bhajan, who is densely absorbed in sense gratification, who abandons the nectar of Harikatha, who like a dog pursues useless material enjoyment, and who leaves aside the nectar of Hari's name, is accustomed like a pig to eat stool of sense objects. This is just like a camel who abandons those soft mango leaves, which are likened to bhakti, and happily chews the thorns, which are like the material sense enjoyment. And they are like those hogs, like the donkey, which are kicked by the she-donkeys. And they are happily carrying heavy burden. Right? Such persons who are glorified by others like them are fit to be called topmost among animals, not topmost among human beings. Right? They're just topmost among the animals because they are the elite among the brutes. Therefore, for those persons in whom human qualities have begun to blossom, taking shelter of Hari Bhajan or the path of Bhakti is necessary. It is imperative. This specifically is what is being established here. Okay, so that is what is being established here. So that ends, now we finish the first chapter, first shower, okay, which is Bhakti Sarvokarsha, the preeminence of Bhakti. So starting tomorrow, we proceed to the second shower. What is that? That will be the discussion of the first 3 stages of Bhakti.